So Maid-sama, it's not a great anime, but if you go and watch some of the reviews, which you will find on YouTube and elsewhere, a lot of people really like this anime. And rewatching it, I must be honest, it kind of felt like it's nostalgia because, at least for me, because this was one of the first shoujo rom-com anime which I watched, and this is basically like the basic idea of what I think of a when I
Sure.
think of yeah of a shoujo when I think of a shoujo, which is why
Yeah, like it is very like very vanilla compared to like some other shoujo shit I've read. Like Angel Sanctuary. What's another good example?
Utena, I guess.
Yeah, Uten is also a shoujo. Like this is pretty vanilla, although for a vanilla story, it's actually not that bad. Like I've read worse. Like characters are likable enough, they're charming enough, and it's quite fun, and they have like cute and cool interactions. Which, as far as shojo goes, I mean, it ticks all the good, it ticks all the boxes for like, all right, this is fine, this is decent.
Yeah, I mean, even the premise is nothing new. Like it's sort of the same as similar to his and her circumstances, Karekano.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but his and her, I would say that his and her circumstances are a lot more dark. I mean, especially in the manga, like main character, like the main guy has like an abusive mom, and then one of the chapters, his father pulls a gun out on him and kidnaps him. Oh no, no, I'm not joking. His literal dad shows up and pulls a literal gun out, like a Glock 49 on him.
yeah. I think
Wait,
We should
this
we
Maid-sama?
should
No,
yeah
in his and
we
her
should cover that next.
circumstances.
Honestly,
Stop talking about that. We're not talking about that.
all shoujo are the same, I guess. So okay, I
I mean, I mean, I guess I'm like the odd one out who actually likes this and also likes shoujo. So, yeah. But
Well,
I mean, as
okay,
far as like,
okay, okay. When I saw this show, it was like, okay, this is fine. You've got a pretty nice, fun dynamic here, where you've got tomboyish girl, and you've got her contrasting against guy who's sweet, who kind of likes to hit on her. It's kind of neat. It's kind of fun, and she's too generally angry at the other kids, the other boys in class. That's a little dynamic, and of course she works at a maid cafe, and so she's super insecure about that. There's all these little things that she's trying to hide. That's kind of fun. The main thing that bugged me, and this is gonna vary from person to person. Some people will care, some people won't, but what kind of bothered me was the fact that she's never went anywhere. Like this show basically never went anywhere.
yeah. I mean, like apart from like the last episodes, it didn't go anywhere. I mean, it was kind of funny because like none of the characters make any like development at any point. Like they're all like very static.
I
Which I don't know. I don't know if it's like a bad thing, but it does feel like you're not really watching like a continuous story, like you're just watching like episodes or something.
yeah,
Snippets,
the
very
yeah,
much like
well,
manga.
yeah, like so I've watched both the anime and the manga, and I would say that things get like they kind of cut. Like here's the thing: the anime does cut off at kind of like a decent point to kind of like cut off for more, but like especially in the manga, they do go in a bit more of like Usui's like past and stuff like that. We also meet the main character, the main heroine's like father at some point in the story because some of her issues, especially around men, do originate from her father. It's not that she has daddy issues; it's just like she views her father as a deadbeat for like running out and abandoning her family to almost like poverty like conditions. He shows up back up and tries to get involved in his life.
Okay, like for example, I'm reading here on the Wikipedia summary. Their relationship is troubled by Usui's difficult familial past coming to haunt him. An illegitimate child of a wealthy English noble family. Usui technically cannot form a relationship with anyone not in his social standing. Yeah, that's true. But that's so. I we never got a hint of that. Not in this anime. Not in what I
Yeah, in
watched.
the manga they talk about it more. Like I think there's like a scene where it gets more like as far as like the anime is concerned, like yeah, they don't mention that at all. But like as far as the manga is concerned, it comes up like a lot more, and
Mm-hmm.
that's like part of the reason why he actually like at the end like kind of like leaves her. Well, they hook up back together again because of course they didn't. This would
Mm-hmm.
be fucking.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like he kind of like he fucks off to England and just kind of leaves her hanging and just like, no, you fucking fucker, come back here, you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing. As far as like shojo goes, it's pretty vanilla and milk toast as far as that's concerned. But like, if you're looking for like a cute little dynamic and stuff like that, and funny rom com stuff happens, I mean, this is fine.
Yeah,
But
sure. There was a fun little episode where someone this one guy somehow hypnotizes Misaki, and so Isui has to do everything in his power to kind of help her keep awake over the next 24 hours in order to avoid her learning to hate Usui from the hypnotism. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, but it's kind of fun.
it's funny.
It was a fun enough thing. But uh, thing is, for me, the comedy I didn't hate it, but it didn't land most of the time for my tastes. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I kind of liked some of the moments and some of like the ridiculous, like almost borderline superhuman shit he would do. Like,
Mm,
just jump off a two-story school, he's fine. It's those
yeah,
superior like British genes that keep him going.
yeah.
Yeah. So this anime,
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're used to being dropped, so you know.
yeah, this anime has an 8 out of 10 on Mal, well, barely, and
I wouldn't
Jeez.
give it an 8 out of 10. I'd be leaning towards like maybe 6 or 7. Like, it's not a bad show. Like, as far as like shojo's goes, this is one of the better ones. If you want like vanilla stuff, I mean, if you want more like hardcore stuff, well, you can look at the stuff I recommended in the chat below. But
yeah, that
Uh,
mm,
I mean, the thing that bothered me in just this anime was Usui himself. He didn't feel like a character. He felt more almost like an avatar of Misaki's desires in a lot of ways. Like I never got. I rarely got an impression of like. Towards the end, I started to get an impression of he actually has wants and he actually has like things that he cares about. But at other times, he just sort of felt like this is what this is what Misaki wants to be chased after him, and this is the fantasy. And there was something about him that always felt quite shallow. That's
Yeah, I
just
mean,
me.
he basically like exists just to serve Mizaki.
Yeah.
It's like he was
yeah, I mean,
like,
outside of
you know,
like
he's like
teasing
a,
her and like
you know,
taking the piss out of her, I mean, he is in a way fulfilling a female fantasy. You've got this kind of like almost ubermensch character going around.
I mean, for me, it came across at a certain point as pathetic a little, simply because like that he's like such a knight on a horse over her. And it would be like one thing if he was totally obviously spellbound by Misaki, but he's not obviously that way. He just sort of enjoys going around and teasing her the whole time. And
and I know this is gonna come up a lot, but like in the
in the manga,
yeah, pretty much. Because like here's the thing, they like literally stop like almost like halfway through the manga. Like there's a bit more going on, but like yeah, it's just like uh,
did the introduction of the rival at the end change your impression of Usui at all? Because I guess he had some competition at last. Well, I mean, basically, some competition who was not just an asshole.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
They go more in depth there in the manga as well. There's like
Yeah, I mean, it's resulted in like the best moments in it, whether it's sort of kind of like nearer the end, but like I think yeah. So with Shintai, he like sees like Usually give like Mizaki like his shirts, right? But then like Usually just like barks, and it's like this like psychological warfare, and he just like and that like finally like destroys his morale, and he just like cries.
I think
He barks and cries like literally. It's kind of funny.
does he even show up after that? I think he does. Maybe.
yes, he does.
Yeah.
I think that's like the last you see of him as well, which is even better.
uh,
I think he shows up like one or twice more in the manga, but yeah.
yeah.
You know, honestly, honestly, we should have just talked about like Angel Sanctuary, at least the manga.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do that. Um. So the characters don't really change, but maybe
No,
no. Misaki maybe no. Um.
Masaki a little
she
bit. Usue, you
gradually
find out a little bit more, and he changed a little bit as well. But like that's in the manga, so
Like I
can't
mean,
talk about that.
like at the start she doesn't like any of the guys. I mean, and but then she sort of makes friends, I guess, with the school. Uh, the boys in the school sort of start to be on her side a
yeah,
little bit. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah, she's a little bit of a man hater because we find out. So in the I'm going to use this phrase a lot, but in the manga, like she does kind of dislike her
manga.
dad. Yeah, her dad can't run out of the family. There's a bit of tension between them over that when he comes back. However, we also find out like why he did it as well, and he actually comes off as a bit more like sympathetic, like because she just kind of says like, "Oh, yo, my scumbag dad left," and then when she finds out like why he did it, he's like, "I'm still angry at you, but I'm less. I'm like, I'm a little angry at you, but you know what? I can't blame you."
yeah. I think
We did see a little bit about how they did talk a little bit about how their dad run off, and that's why she's like got this this general grudge thing going on. Honestly, I mean that's fine enough. That level of grudge that she has, which is very childish, wouldn't have had to have had a backstory, but they gave it a backstory. I guess it's kind of notable. I think this is like episode 7 or 8. Yeah, episode 7 and 8. Like this is. I've not watched much shojo, but it feels like very shojo, and it was kind of funny. So they want to this like really hot guy from another school invites Masaki over, and he basically wants her to transfer schools, and there's definitely all these romantic implications there. And when he literally has an underling inform him, "Ah, so and so, Misaki's about to arrive." And he just turns around in his revolving chair. Excellent. Prepared everything for her arrival. I will stroke my kitten. Everyone knows student council presidents don't have to take class.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, I did. I find it funny when like the student council is so important in anime. So I did like that.
Yeah, you got.
Uh, uh,
Listen. This is how the power levels go, right? You have police officers, you have government officials, you have the World Economic Forum, and then you have the student council, right? Like, listen, nothing gets passed unless the student council says yes.
yeah, and then she just
That was the fuck off,
and then
basically.
she goes in there, and she's basically pushed down, and this guy almost forces himself on Misaki, but then Usui's just randomly there and stops him, and she tells him off. Where like, and that's sort of like supposed to be the thing about Misaki that's supposed to be like kind of likable, enjoyable, is that any of these guys that come off much too strong, she basically tells them to piss off, and she's can't. It's not like she is totally immune to their charms or anything, so it's not like she's bitchy. But at the same time, she's able to see like this guy is really arrogant scumbag that sort of just treats everyone disposably. I don't like this guy.
Yeah, there's also like I think it might be in an anime, but I was rereading the manga, and there's like the scene where Masaki's in Usue's apartment, and they kind of have like a they're basically having like a tit for tat match in their apartment, and she's just like, and she actually like wins that one. It's like Usui makes a mistake, and she's like, "Aha, I got you for once." He's like, "Oh, yes, you did." I'm like, "Oh, damn it!" Like
Mhm.
there's like small moments like that as well.
Yeah.
It might have been in the anime, most likely in the manga, but there's also like a scene of that where like she's just up in his apartment, and they're kind of having like like a playful like tit for tat. Like it isn't like Usui teasing her and her reacting. It's just her kind of like they're having like a tit for tat, and it's like, oh, that's kind of cute. So like she's kind of on his level at the moment.
So this anime is basically for girls, and I kind of felt like the whole maid cafe thing was just some bait for the male otakus, but it's just bait. There's there's no
It's barely a thing.
yeah.
Like past the first episode, it's barely a thing. It's just like something in the background.
I mean,
It's just a backdrop.
yeah. I mean, to be fair,
It's sort of like how it's called like the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, and like her melancholy is just the devotion of the first season, and nothing else is about that.
yeah, there's more melancholy in the disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya than in the yeah
Or
in the
more
show.
melancholy with Kyoji is just like, oh god, I'm literally with God.
To be fair though, I mean the whole plot point about her not wanting people to find out that she works as a maid in a maid cafe, that sort of comes up um, because I guess she thinks that it will get in the way of her image as the student council president or
Yeah,
whatever.
like she gets the impression that if people find out, they will disrespect her or undermine her authority.
Mm.
And she has to be like the Sigma male, the Sigma female girl boss, right? Like she can't like give an inch.
Yeah, well, she just feels understandably a little
Embarrassed about it as
insecure
well.
about it. Yeah, and in reality, when the guys find out, they just become totally smitten with her because for them, it's like I don't think they say this, but there's like a concept of gap moe, and
Yes.
they find her very gap moe, and they're very into that.
I mean, here's the thing. When I like first watched the show, I'm just like, oh, this chick is kind of cute, and she gets teased by this guy. That's fun.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I think one of the three idiots or the idiot trio, whatever they're called, literally does use the term gap moe, even though,
Mm.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, in the manga, there's like a scene where like they get confined by like a bunch of delinquents because they're hanging out like a maid cafe, and then they like beat the fuck out of them.
yeah, yeah. I didn't expect the, that the idiot the trio for them to get their own episode, but they do get it, I think. Um, which I thought was fine. Um, well, I think what hasn't aged well in this anime, from what I remembered it the most, was the comedy. I didn't find it as funny
Yeah,
as I
it's
did.
yeah, it's like it's a very vanilla shoujo. Like if you don't like this type of stuff, you're gonna get bored real fast.
Like
Like that is
if this comedy was landing for me, I would be fine with this show. I would have maybe wanted a little more, but it would be fine. The comedy wasn't landing for me. And so as a result, like I never hated this show. There's nothing I disliked about it, and in a way, shojo is a nice genre because you get more reading about quote unquote sexism, but they just go through with it anyways because those people.
also with shoujo, you
But
tend to have more emphasis on like melancholy, kind of melodramatic character arcs, teenage
yeah,
angst, passions and emotions. Not the ones in the
okay,
shoujo, but like
where was
you
that
get
in
more.
this show? Where was that?
I think that
That's more of the stuff that has like rape and
yeah,
NTR for added drama.
I think that it
Like I
wasn't.
said, this is very This is very vanilla. Listen, there's like vanilla shoujo, and then you have like the Chad shoujo, right? Like
Uh-huh.
this is the stuff you dip your toes in before you get into more extreme stuff, right?
um
Okay, like this, like the. But anyways, like I was saying, the comedy just I found to be very standard and not hitting for me. Like I struggle to to explain it too much other than it. Okay, like one comedy bit that did sort of land for me is where Misaki gets drunk or whatever,
Oh yeah,
and
that's cute and funny.
and he's like recording her with his cell phone, and she's like, "Are you drunk? Yes. Why are you taking this? As proof because you'll never believe this when you wake up."
Whereas something which didn't land for me was when the characters became their chibi version, and and you and some other characters would just carry them around like suitcases. Yeah, it didn't land that much. So sometimes it was a bit funny, but maybe it happened a bit too frequently. Yeah, I think the reason why there isn't any of that melodramatic stuff is because um, this is aimed at a younger audience, and also it's leaning more on the comedy than
Yeah, the melodrama and shit like that.
yeah.
Like, there's a little bit of drama that goes on it, like especially in the manga, but it's pretty like mellow compared to some shoujos.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that the older ones tend to be more melodramatic and less comedic than the newer ones.
It depends, but like the '90s and '80s were a great time for shoujo. Let's just say.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay. Most of the side characters were one note.
Yeah, they kind of exist.
I think that the worst one probably was um, Misaki's sister. Uh, she just had this unfunny gag about like that the only thing that she thinks about and likes the discounts from different shops. Yeah, that another on the other hand, another one note character which I thought was yeah. What is it?
Yeah. Sorry, just on Aizawa, her younger sister. I mean, her thing through like the entire show is this running gag that she gets like really lucky, so she wins all these like competitions all the time. So at one point she ends up with like a huge amount of watermelon because she won a contest
Yeah.
to for like watermelon. So um I hope you like prize winning gags because there's a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, she's poor. I guess the gag is that like she's so poor that
Yeah,
like
she's poor basically. Yeah.
yeah, that's her mentality. She only cares about like household items. Winning
Yeah, I think at the end she wins like a games console though, so I don't know. Like
subversion. Uh, yeah. And I guess in terms of one-note characters, there's also the maid called Honoka, the one with the orange hair, I guess. Um, who always has some kind of a snide remark about Misaki, and usually she's
yeah.
right.
Um
She's correct
I
about.
think uh, she she like maybe one note, but she is less one note than the other her other co-workers because
Yeah, she is
Honoka
fun.
is yeah, she's fun. I think I quite liked her character, but I would say she's like bipolar. so s- so technically she's two notes.
Um, yeah. I guess they were also with Misaki's character. They were also trying to like create this gap moe with her, like having to act all demure and sweet and all that when she's in maid mode. Um, didn't really.
I actually kind of like it. Like, here's the thing: I actually like Masaki as a character, like personality. Like, she's exactly my type. I'm just like, man, why can't I date this?
Yeah, I think just that is probably why a lot of people like this show. Like the girls want to be like Misaki, and there's a lot of guys who like Misaki. Um,
Yeah, and the girls want someone like Usui to go after them. I remember some commenter, someone on YouTube. This show's on YouTube right now, stating, "quote um, the fact that Usui like jumps off a building for Masaki off of like some dare some to get like that picture back is why I have too high ridiculous tastes in men standards."
I mean, I don't know. Like you kind of get the same thing, a similar thing happening in Onizuka, but it's funny when it happens
Hmm.
there. Whereas
yeah.
here,
I mean, even like shoujo, like shonen, right? Like, you do have some female characters that are very much like a fantasy, right? I mean, it's the same for
Sure.
shoujo. Like, you'll have like, and like the really good shoujos, right? Like, yeah, you'll have these guys who seem perfect, right? And they seem like these almost ubermenches, but when you like peel back the layers, they're like, wow, these people are really fucked.
yeah,
You know?
I think
Yeah, and that's what, of course, like lures the characters in. Is like, oh, I want to fix them. Oh, this guy is so fascinating. I want to
Yeah,
learn all about it.
his
And it's like then you have like conflict and things going on, and
yeah,
Like
his
Usui does
he's
have stuff
dangerous.
going on. Like, he does have shit going on.
in
But
the
I would say it's
manga.
pretty, yeah, in the manga, yeah. But I would say it's pretty, compared to say some other male leads and shoujo stuff, it's pretty tame. Like, one of the shoujo mangas I read, which is I think Denkai Daisy. Yeah, the main hero is like this fucking hacker who got caught up in this like massive like hacking conspiracy with viruses and all this crap.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think the problem is that they're not going all in on like the absurd comedy. They're not going
No.
all in. So
Honestly, they should have gone more into like, especially for the anime, right? They should have gone more about like Usui being like the heroic man of will,
like
like just this human Terminator.
um, like
I
sometimes
guess I
Like,
guess
dude jumps off like a building, 2, 3 stories up, completely fine. I mean, in the manga, he ends up in hospital for like a bit, but other than that, like, aside from like a few like broken bones, a few like scraped ribs, like he's perfectly fine.
I guess like a better way of describing him is like he's just like this like disposable like human resource for like Mizaki. Like
Yes.
he just he's been like created by the universe to like serve the girl boss. You know.
Yeah, he cooks, he cleans, he teases her, he jumps off buildings. What more could she ask for?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it
exactly,
feels
exactly.
slavish, and that's
yeah.
Yeah,
that's why I didn't like it.
there's like there like there is very heavy sort of like female fantasy aspects. Another one is with Shintani. Like they make an effort um to establish him as like the most popular boy in school. Like all the girls are like literally like drooling over him
Mhm.
during like gym class um, and things, and they're giving like presents and stuff. But you know, of course, the only girl he likes is a Mizaki. So you know,
I mean, some of it is a little bit in tongue in cheek. Like they get that like, like when Usu is just walking like at a festival or something, girls just give him presents. And
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
Oh,
like
there's a scene in the manga, right, where he's in like he goes to like a baseball game or something with Masaki, or it might be the another festival, right? And like he just shows up with like a bunch of shit afterwards. Masaki's like, "Where'd you get that from?" I was like, "I don't know. Like people just keep on giving me free shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on."
yeah.
I wish they kept that for the anime, wouldn't they?
Yeah, but the
Yeah,
problem.
just because like you mentioned Onizuka, I can't resist. The difference between like you know if Onizuka's gonna like jump off a building for someone, it's generally because of like some like mistake is made. Because like with um there was like a bit of a there was a like story with Arumi Kanzaki, right, where he like where she says like she's gonna like kill herself, but like she's like lying, you know. Um, but like Onizuka like talks her out of it, but then he like accidentally like he like nudges her off like accidentally with like his butts, and so and so like he jumps off to like save his own like conscience.
Yeah,
So it's not quite the same.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. It's 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 way funnier, but it's less like romantic.
Yeah, like also wouldn't like he wouldn't be cool enough or something if it happened to him or
Well,
something.
you see, a Swede like wouldn't make mistakes, so it'll be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you do get character. You could make it a gag that like the character doesn't make a mistake or anything like that, but it didn't come off. It didn't come off that way here, and also like um like more and more characters at her school found out that like she was a maid there, working as a maid, so it didn't feel like such a big deal when
Yeah, that element of the show like just drops away. It's not relevant.
yeah, because the reason why he jumped off the building was to catch the photograph of her as a maid, because they were at the top of the school, and um
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it is kind of like romantic because he's trying to keep her like the promise they made of not to tell anyone.
yeah.
But
So
like, but like, here's the thing: Usui doesn't feel like he has passion. Usui doesn't feel like he's a human being. Usui feels like a robot. is.
That is actually a joke she makes in the manga as well, by the way.
Yeah, he is Sir Roboticus, programmed to serve Misaki, and so because of that, when he's like jumps off, it's like, yeah, of course he's gonna do that.
Yeah,
Of course, he
yeah.
does it always.
I mean, also like he always shows up at the most convenient time, and um, like um,
But actually, this is that is explained. He explains it in like one line. When they're meeting, like when they like meet the boy band, he goes, "I'm her stalker."
Yes.
So it kind of explains that.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like I'd be fine with that if we got even like the slightest hint that he's actually head over heels for Misaki and he's hiding that.
He
Uh,
actually is.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think he does. Like there are like
Yeah,
signals in
he's
like the
just
first
kind of playing
episode.
up being the bad boy kind of shit. But like in the manga, it is revealed that he actually cares a lot about her more
I
than
mean,
he actually leads on.
I could already sort of tell that, but it's like he's still because he is the one making the first steps, of course. But I mean, at the same time, it never felt like I don't know. It never
It,
felt like he was doing this because he was that much in love with
it, I,
her,
it, it,
but
it, it,
more because like the guy's supposed to do those things.
it kind of felt like he just wanted things to stay the way that they were without
Yeah,
going
yeah.
all the way and getting.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that it didn't really sort of like grow up in any sort of like semi-realistic way. It just sort of happened. Like it was like the first episode. I don't know. He probably likes her now, and he's just going to like hang out around her all the time. For some reason, it's like it's some divine intervention.
Yeah, I don't think that there was. How did it start anyway? um, did we see them
I think
meeting for the first time?
I don't really like. Oh, not really. I do like remember um him because it's to their credit they do show him like smile when she's like doing her thing. She's like reprimanding students and stuff. So I just think it's the case that he just likes Mizaki um because she's Mizaki and no other reason. He likes how she acts and who she is, and
Like
he
I,
ends up like loving her like unconditionally, for that reason.
yeah, like I can't think of a single moment where like like, oh, Misaki did this and that's why I like um
She was just being herself. Like her like just being herself was enough for him
yeah,
because
But
like
look,
she
he
was
has
like
a
already
type.
perfect. So.
Yeah, he has a type. Why not go for it?
yeah, I guess. Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
like I think in the manga he explains that he likes her because he finds her. Well, I'm not gonna keep on saying manga shit, but there are other reasons why he likes her.
Uh, yeah. And what
Well,
about?
it's sort of like the ooh, Final Fantasy 20 gets really good once you get 20 hours in. It's like, I don't care. If it hasn't hooked me in by 20 hours, it's failed.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat is saying that that this anime is by the same director as Deji Sharat and Saiki Kusuo have you heard of either of them? I've heard of Digi Charat, but haven't seen it.
No.
Yeah. Um. Okay. What else is there to say about this show?
It's alright.
It's all right. um. I
I think like just like small things I would like want to mention. I think the animation was was like fairly creative, you know, because sometimes they'll like animate like characters' ears to like expand, you know, in like a sort of cartoonish way. If like someone's like talking about them or you know, and like other times they'll have like whole episodes that are this like in like this like fantasy setting, and it'll be like a big metaphor. Um, there's like one where she's like a like samurai or something. Yeah, yeah, like she gets born out of like a big I forgot what it's called. I think it's like a big like oh my god, like a big fruit or something. I think it's like linked to like you know Japanese folklore. And she like meets like Usui in his story, and he's like I don't know, or is that a different one? Anyway, they do go on these these sort of like side tangents that don't really matter too much to the plot, but they're kind of
Plot?
entertaining.
What plot?
Well, you know, there is a plot. You just watch the same plots play out every episode. You know. um.
yeah
Yeah. I also like I kind one of the things that like cracked me up was like the sound design. I swear that they like every like studio have like the same like pool of like sound effects they dip into. One of the things I noticed, you know that like okay right, so that there's that like particular sound effect for like women with like large breasts, okay,
Mm,
and when like their like breasts like bounce, it goes like boom,
mhm.
and it sounds like you know, I don't know, like a pillow or something, or like a mattress. They use that sound effect everywhere, and it just like I don't know, like it sort of like cracked me up this time around for some reason. But yeah, like it's like pretty dumb. But yeah, like there's yeah, I don't know, like I thought like the sound effects were good. Sometimes there'll be like a particular like mood, and they'll like you know they'll play like a string of like a double bass, you know, dun dun,
yeah
when like there's like an awkward moment between Usui and Mizaki. You know, I thought you know I think it's all right. You know, I think it's like fairly creative. It's fun. It makes it like I think it really does help the tone as well. Like um yeah. Anyway,
yeah I don't think that there's any CGI even for the
no, I
vehicles.
didn't see any. No.
Yeah, yeah. Even though like there's a lot of like um but they obviously I don't know if they're trying to save money, but there's still enough stuff going on that it didn't really bother me. And speaking of the sound effects, I think there's a few times when the characters make manga sound effects, basically. Um, like yeah, I can't remember it. I can't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like the voice actors do a really great job. Like, I don't want to like do like recreations, but yeah, like they
yeah,
do they like vocalize sort of like SFX sounds you like read of it in you know in like a manga. You know,
Yeah, I would say this.
actress Farah Mizaki does a really good job. You know,
Yeah.
Yes.
all things considered.
yeah. Is Misaki tsundere?
Yeah,
Mm,
Yes.
yeah, sort of. I'd say it's a
it's
borderline case because, like, well, I mean, I guess there's like type 1 and type 2 tsunderes, and like the type 2 is the one where she is just tsundere for the love interest, and like that's Misaki. Um, in general, I wouldn't consider her like she's the type that it just sort of like fights with her love interest a lot. She's not the type that's natural born bred tsundere, if that makes any sense.
yeah. She hatches from a gigantic peach. in the in the off episodes, and yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the dream episode, I guess. Um, okay. Yeah, we talked about. Then anything else to talk about this show?
Nah, like I think we've covered all the basics. Like, you
Oh
guys
no,
didn't want.
we need to talk about the fact that there is not only one, but two femboys in this in this anime.
Wait a
The,
minute,
Uh,
I only counted one in the
yeah,
show.
me too. Oh no, that's
Yeah,
two.
I
That's
only
two.
had
That's
there's
two.
one.
The vice president,
oh
right?
okay, right. There's like one femboy and there's like one twink. I mean.
Yeah.
Listen, there's femboys and bucks, and the vice president is more of a buck. That's basically it.
I see. He does.
He's very
He does like
peculiar.
cross dress though a lot.
And he seems to like it too. I think
He
sometimes.
does. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's getting groomed by Usui. You know what? That's what Usui is. He's a Discord mod.
Imagine Usui, but like he's like 20 more stone, and yeah,
Okay. Um. Yeah. I guess another thing
The
which I
shoujo protagonist who's actually a Discord mod. That'd be okay. Okay, mangakas in Japan, get on that right now.
yeah, man,
yeah.
that'd be like so funny. It would either be like funny or like traumatic. I'm not sure.
Another thing which I did like about this show, which I don't see that much these days, is that uh, like I don't know, maybe they still do it, and I just don't watch it. But like they sort of use the how for they use the high school setting as sort of a sandbox where
Yeah.
like anything uh, anything could happen. Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
Japanese high school is a wild, strange, adventurous place.
um,
It's like the Wild West in many ways.
Yes.
Like one minute you could
Well,
be at
crosses
school
are just
studying,
optional.
then listen. The one minute you could be at school studying, the next minute, a nearby terrorist attack comes in and kills everyone at the school.
Yeah.
It's a very like wild ride.
Yeah, the next moment, the popular girl at school demolishes all the houses around you just to be closer to you. You
yeah.
never know what will happen.
And like
That
sometimes
wasn't in this show.
yeah sometimes like if you don't you can kind of stop thinking about it, like for example when they had the sports festival thing, and like there was some they had to like jump over floats in the school swimming pool or something. um yeah, like it's a normal thing,
Yeah,
but
But
like,
yeah,
listen, you're passing here for the
but
spectacle.
that's sort of my issue with the show is like it's the basic. Oh, isn't this slightly wacky? Isn't that kind of humorous? Yeah, okay, it kind of is, but this is anime. You need to be a little bit more out there than just that.
I see, I see.
Well, I don't know. Like then again, in like real terms, I mean, like lots of people like this anime. I am like a more like loads of people like way more people than I expect. I've seen and praised this anime. Like this is like one of the best rom-coms I've ever seen.
Yeah,
I
Arjun,
wouldn't say it's
Arjun
the
made a
best.
video like that. Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the
Interestingly, Argent,
really.
who I didn't expect. But yeah. Anyway, he
Yeah.
must have
Maybe, like, here's
he
the
must
thing.
be
I
like
was,
manic or something when he watched
I didn't expect my
when he watched
evil
the show.
plan would go like this well. I'm even cropping people on other servers with Eastern feminine yin energy. Man,
Yeah.
I mean, this is going off without a hitch.
Yeah, I think like I watched the video like and like he didn't even it didn't even occur to him, and it didn't even occur to us until Fahrenheit mentioned it, that like yeah, actually there's cross dressers and femboys in this show. And Argent was kind of saying stuff like
Normalization, it's already working.
Argent was saying stuff like this reinforces traditional gender roles or something, uh, bec- because of
In like a strange way,
I
it
suppose.
kind of like does.
Yeah,
So
like
I don't know.
I posted there in the reception tab, like there's some general reading by Western anime critics that
Oh
it's too
yeah.
sexist, yada yada
It
yada.
is yeah. I mean, if you there's like a short wiki article, and like there's in the reception section, it's like a very funny read because it's exactly what you expect. It's like everyone just like moaning that like it's like sexist and stuff. So yeah, I mean it's like so shallow. I mean but
Oh
if you're just
yeah,
gonna like say these things like what's even
it's
the point of you like having a job? I mean to be honest, like
oh yeah,
I'm like a
it's
loser who could like barely like speak properly, and I'm like doing a better job than you are. So there you go. Shots fired. There you go.
Who
There you go.
knew
Forbes.
that Maid-sama was
I declare war.
based?
Anyway.
Listen, Maid-sama's now been claimed by the right-wing circle. It is now officially
look
based.
look.
I mean,
It's just that shojo. This is like old shojo. Shojo has is always about like the girlish guy or the tomboy, the girlish girl or the tomboyish girl that gets taken in by the smart, manipulative, sexy guy who just like
Not
dominant.
always. Not all of
Eh,
them.
I don't know. That's the impression that I get,
A good chunk
and
of them, yes, but others not so much.
I guess
mm,
maybe Rose of Versailles. Um, Rose of Versailles might be an example where it's not the case, sort of,
hmm
not really.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but we're doing Angel Sanctuary next, you
yeah,
promised. The
yeah,
manga specifically.
and I mean,
Okay. I'll
go.
write it down. I'll write it down.
I mean, here as well, like this sort of I get like she's feminine. Misaki is feminine. You can't say that she's not
Oh
feminine.
yes,
Yeah. So
I actually saw in like that little Wikipedia reception someone complaining about that, saying, "quote It is the male fantasy where the scary, strong, smart, self-possessed girl turns out to secretly be subservient to men. It's kind of funny to read until you
you know,
think about what the messages really are."
yeah,
Yeah, you see, if she's not like
like
total bitch that's
yeah,
that's ordering around, man.
yeah.
That's just horrible.
The she has to be like the eternal hall monitor. Otherwise she won't be fulfilled in life.
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Yeah. Um. I mean, there's sort of an episode like with the cross dresser where like I think the best moment with the cross dresser is when like uh she sort of makes friends with the idiot Tio um over like um a photo shoot for his blog rather
Heads.
yeah but I was going to say that like I mean the anime is sort of saying like this is okay essentially, but it's but at one point one character also says that you have still got the heart of a man or something to the crossdresser. After I think it was after the volleyball arc episode.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
sort of treat it like this is his fetish, his thing that he's into, and they're very supportive of him in that capacity. But he's still a guy.
yeah,
Although he's sort of treated like the gay guy who like is like more into feminine
yeah.
things, and
I
so like the girls accept him almost as one of their own, kind of that
yeah,
dynamic.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, like he's just kind of like around us. It's like, oh yeah, we have a femboy in the group. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Don't mind.
Yeah. And if you think he ever gets any character development. No, he doesn't.
No.
He literally
No
like
one.
remains the same
You
character
think
he was at the
you
start.
think there's character development in the show?
Oh man. Well, actually, what you do is you do all the developments at the end. So like people think there's like something actually going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only thing which could be, I mean, he kind of hated Misaki, and was very competitive with her for Usui's attention.
Look. There is more. Macross 7 is often critiqued for being like too monster of the week or whatever. There is more character development, quote unquote, as abused as that term is. More character development in a single episode of Macross 7 than this show in its entirety.
I mean, I think like everything for the most part like gets resolved um in like half an episode or something.
Yeah.
Usually here.
Yeah, and it doesn't have that thing where they were really good doing this in the 90s. A lot of 90s animes were very good at like having like these self-contained arcs throughout like an entire episode that really put the characters through a lot of interesting things and they came out the other end. And there's nothing too much like that in the show.
Hmm.
Yeah, like if this show was a bit more like his or her circumstances, where like, because his and her circumstances gets quite dark at times.
Mm.
Yeah, if it was a
Yeah.
bit more like that, the show could be a lot better. But as like a vanilla shoujo, I think it's fine.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, I mean, it
Like
wasn't
if
like
you like
bad,
the humor, if you like the show's humor, you might like Ouran High School Host Club. But here's the thing: the characters have like a lot more development in that show, and they also have like a lot of like eccentric personalities as well. Like the humor is very good in Ouran High School Host Club.
Yeah, I mean, when this show wasn't like bad, it just wasn't like good.
Either.
It was very okay,
It
Um,
existed.
it didn't have that many lows, just as it didn't have that many highs. So
Honestly, we should
there
do
was like
Ouran
no
High
way
School
to
Host
feel
Club.
strongly about
Yeah,
it.
yeah. We should do Ouran High School Host Club at some point because that show is funny as fuck. Like when I was watching it, like I didn't give a fuck it was for girls. Like it was still funny.
Mhm. Yeah. I think I probably got this show a bit confused in my mind with another a show called Special A. I don't know if any of you.
Yes. I've seen a few episodes of it. I plan to read the manga, but yeah,
Yeah, and I think I like that show a little bit more than this because in that show like they like they play a lot more on the rivalry between the main couple,
yeah.
the boy and the girl.
I
Uh,
think there was an anime. Well, actually, now that I think about it, it's not good. That should be fine. Um, I think there was an anime called like Show Beat about like this chick who goes in like the idol business to like beat this hunk who like basically like used and abused her.
is this skip beat?
Yeah,
Go-
Skip Beat.
yeah, I watched it. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's good. Yeah, that's good too. Even though like the anime doesn't cover the whole manga again, so that's that problem. Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm thinking about. Sorry, I'm thinking about like sort of a comedy anime, which I found the funniest. I think there was some good some like good moments in Captain Tyler. Um,
Yes.
but honestly, to be honest, I think the funniest, like the anime that has made me laugh the most is probably Prison School, just because of that like segment where like everyone thinks like the like protag has like prostates after and he just like anyway. But yeah, like I don't like there's something about like the humor or like the techniques they use that don't really translate too well for me. I don't know. I don't really feel it. Apart from some like chuckles every now and again. If like if they use like a goofy sound effect or something. But yeah, it didn't really like do it for me. The comedy.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I think I still like this enough that I'll probably read the whole manga at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah, it was kind of a disappointment. Let's be honest, to rewatch this and it wasn't as good as I remembered it. So there's that. I would have probably said it was a 7, and now I'll say that it's a 6 out of 10. Um,
At least for the anime and manga, I would also give them both like a 6 out of 10.
hmm.
I think this is a very very good solid 5 out of 10 show. It's not bad, but it's not good.
Yes,
It just
I.
it just is.
It
It exists.
exists. It
Exactly.
exists, and
You
therefore,
can you,
unless you're
you can
into
watch
this,
it if you
I
want.
cannot recommend it. I would also give it a 5 out of 10. Like I could rate it lower, a 4 out of 10 maybe, but it's like there's nothing that hooks me in this. It just exists.
Yeah. I I don't know. I guess another thing would be that I didn't feel like there was enough chemistry between the two characters as much as I remembered that there was. Um, yeah. So that's what it is. Yeah. Uh, let's end the stream, I guess. Unless do you have anyone else has anything to add?
No,
Thank you
I've
everyone
roasted my
for
piece.
listening. Uh,
Yeah.
Yes, next on the Chad Shoujo list, we might be covering Angel Sanctuary, so specifically the manga.